Hello, this video will review the new discussions, creation, and grading experience. So first you want to start in your course and you want to go to the discussions area. And this is where we're going to create a new discussion. So we're going to choose new and new topic. Now keep in mind, if you don't already have a forum existing, a forum is basically the folder and the topic is the paper or the topics or the pieces that go within the folder or the forum. So you will have to create a forum if you don't already have one. Here I already have one called discussions, but it's easy enough to create a forum. You can just name it new forum and then give it a title. I just like to title it discussions and then put all my topics in there. I don't really need to fill out anything else at this point. I'm just going to save that particular forum. So now I can make a new topic. I'll choose new topic. And the first thing it's going to ask me is what forum I want it to go in. So that's when I would want to have the forum in place. Then I'm going to give my topic or what my discussion is going to be about, what I'm going to ask my students to do. I'm going to give it a title and then a description. If you're going to be putting in a lot of information for the description, you might choose to toggle it out to make it larger. So this is an example of what you might include as your discussion prompt. I like to include specific information in regards to what you need to post for the original discussion and what you need to post for the reply posts. And so I just have a header there, and I come and make it a specific header to make it a little bit larger. I also like to come down and here I insert a line. And you can do that by coming to this plus area and then divider. And then I like to give information about how it is going to be graded. So I tell them that the original post is worth 5 points. This is what you need to do that. The reply posts are worth 5 points. And then this is what you need to do that. So that includes the word count, answering the prompts, etc. So in addition to adding text, you can add images. And so you can do that by choosing this image icon here and then pick from your computer and you can upload an image. Now when you upload an image, you're going to be asked to give an alternative text. You just want to describe what that image is for people who are not able to see the image and might be using a screen reader. So we can add in and then resize it as appropriate. Remember that you can also add video notes here. So you can come to the Insert Stuff area and you can choose to add a video note. It will pull your webcam and you can choose to start a new recording, and then you can explain what you want to in your video post, stop that recording, and choose to post it. So you want to make sure that you save it with a title that you know that you can remember, because you could choose to reuse that if you want to. So say next semester or in a later discussion, you might want to pull this video back in. If you know what you named it, it'll be easy to search. Then you just want to make sure that you choose the appropriate language and choose for it to generate captions for you, so everything will be accessible for your students. Alright, so now that we have the description created, we're going to move on down to our options. So here you can allow for anonymous posts if you like. You can choose that a moderator must approve the individual post before they display on the topic. Be careful with this, because basically what will happen is when a student submits a discussion, you will have to come in here and approve it and click a button before it posts for other people to see. So you'll kind of have to be on top of things for them to be able to see it. Most of the time people choose this third one. Users must start a thread before they can read and reply to other threads, which basically means that when they go to post their original post, they have to do so before they can see the reply threads. Also, they are not able to edit their discussion posts. So once they post their original, they won't be able to edit it. So they need to make sure that they've got it all nice and neat the way they want to before they post it. So far all of this information has been a review as to how the discussions have worked in the past in D2L. So let's go to the Restrictions tab. Here we can choose to hide it from users if we're still working on it and it's in a draft format. But this is the part that is different than prior discussion iterations in D2L. So, with the discussion, you can choose to have a start date and an end date, but you don't have to. A lot of professors may say, I don't want it to have a start date, but I do want it to have an end date. It's due on this day. But the discussion is already available to students as soon as they log into the course. They can move ahead. They can move ahead if they want to. Some people do choose, however, that I want it to have a start date, which means students are not able to do anything with that discussion till that specific date. The difference is the descriptors on what is going to be visible for the start and end date. So for the start date, if you choose the visible with access restricted before start, if you choose this little icon, it will kind of give you an explanation. Basically, if you have this selection picked, it will allow the students to see that there is a discussion there. It will give them the title of the discussion and the date, but that's really it. It's not actually going to let them see what the discussion is involving in terms of the prompt, and it's not going to let them actually post anything. So it's just going to let them know that it's there. If you choose this one, the second one, it is going to let them see the discussion prompt. They're going to be able to see everything. They just can't submit to it until that start date has passed. And then, of course, at that point, they can start posting to it. If you choose this one, it's going to be completely hidden. It's going to be as if the discussion is not there, completely invisible until the start date, which is helpful because in this case you could already have it set up and then it would just auto post for that specific date. It'll just automatically become visible to them. So similar situation with the end date. So after this date has passed, this one, visible with access restricted after end, it's only going to let them see that there was a discussion there, see that it was a title and that had an end date, but it's not going to let them see the prompt or anything like that. With this one, it's going to allow them to actually see everything. It's going to allow them to see the prompt, see all the submissions, but it's just going to not allow them to submit anything after the fact. So they can review it, go back and see what they posted and what others posted, but they can't submit anything new. And then this one is where it becomes invisible after the end date. It just completely disappears. You, of course, will be able to see it, but students won't be able to reference it again. If I were to give what most situations people use, I would say that most people choose to have a start date and to have the second option here. So it is visible to where they can see the prompt, they just can't actually post to it. So they can look at it, kind of get an idea of what it's going to be expected of them, and then it'll actually open for them to post on that specific date. That's probably what most people do if they have a start date at all. If they say, you know what, you can start posting from go, I don't care, then they don't even select a start date. For the end date, most people choose to have this second option. So it basically becomes locked or read only in that case. They're still able to look at it and look at their post and look at the prompt, but of course they can't edit anything or add anything to it. Moving on, if you wanted to add any release conditions, if you do this, then you can see that. If you post in this discussion, if you open this content item, then you are able to see that this discussion. You can choose to do so there. And then moving on, we're going to go to the assessment tab, which is typical to what you're used to. You want to make sure to associate it to the grade item that it goes with. If not, if you don't already have a grade item for that discussion, you can choose to make one here. You would just give it a name. I encourage you to name it something very similar to what the title is so that it's apparent to your students that this grade item talks to this discussion. And then you want to put it in the category that it goes in, and then put the highest grade they can make on the discussion. So in this case, it's out of 100. So when I save that, I want to make sure that this is also out of 100. So in this case, I am connecting it to the D2, or connect this discussion to the D2L gradebook. So I'll save and close. And now my discussion is ready to go. We can see it down here at the bottom. We're also able to see just the little minor notes here that it is available. So it's open now. It's available till October 7th. Submission restricts after the availability ends, meaning that they can see it but can't post to it. It is connected to an assessment. It is connected to the gradebook, and students must post first. So the next thing you want to do is connect it to the content in the module that it goes in. So we'll find the module where this one goes. We'll just say it's this one. And I'll choose to add existing activities, discussions. I'll pick that discussion from the forum that it goes in, and then basically it's just going to double link it down here at the bottom for my students to be able to see it within the content area as well. So they'll be able to get to it from the content area within the module or the discussion area. So now let's go and submit to it as a student. All right, so I'm in the discussion as a student. I'm going to find that discussion. I'm going to click on it. I'll be able to read the prompt, watch the videos, see the images, all of that. And then remember that I won't be able to see anybody else's post until I post my original. So I'm going to start a new thread, which is what we typically say, posting your original. I'll enter the subject and my text. However, keep in mind that students can also add in images, just like we did before by clicking image and uploading from their computer. They can also make video notes. So you can have a video-based discussion instead of text, and so that the student would come here, choose the insert stuff, create a add video note, and then create a video just like we did prior. They'll be able to record that video and post it to where instead of having a text-based recording or text-based discussion, they can have a video-based discussion. So let's pretend that we've typed our discussion. Notice it shows them how many words there is, so they're able to see the word count now. And then they can post that. Oops, I need to add a subject. So now they can go down and they can see their post. As of right now, they were the first person that posted, so they won't see anything else. So now we're posting as another student. We're pretending we're another student creating their first original discussion post. Notice that you can add attachments here, and in this case they can upload a file to be attached. So when they post that, they're able to see their discussion post, and then you're able to see that there is an attachment there. Also notice, since somebody else had already posted before him, now that he posted, he's able to see those other posts. It is important, however, to think about if you want your students to attach these documents to the discussion area. Sometimes by default, they'll type their discussion in Word and then just paste it in. However, it is more difficult for your students and for you to look at it because you then have to click on it, download the file, and then read it. In most cases, most professors request that their students they might choose to type it in Word and then copy and paste it in right directly into the text box so that they're able to see it right here and they don't have to worry about that additional attachment. So we'll talk more about this attachment in a second when we go to the grading process. But again, to respond to someone's post, they would simply click on that post, read it, reply to their discussion, and then post a reply. Keep in mind here they can also insert images or use the video notes, so you could actually have a full-on video-based discussion there. So that's the process for students posting. Now let's go in and look at the new grading experience. Okay, so to grade your discussions, you're going to go to the discussion area. You're going to choose the drop down by the name of the discussion, and you're going to choose to assess the topic. Next, you'll see a list of all of your students, and you'll see topic score underneath the name of each student. So to view their post, you're going to choose topic score, and it will show up in a pop-up here. Now this is what we would call our current or our traditional format for grading discussions. So this is what you're used to already seeing. So we'll see the pop-up. We're able to see the number of threads they created, the number of replies they created. We're able to scroll down and see their post. We're able to see when they posted it as well as the word count. And then we're able to type in feedback and give a score. And again, with this feedback, you can type in feedback, but keep in mind that you can also expand this out and use the video note feedback as well and create a video note for your discussions as well. So that is the traditional view. If you want to switch and try the new view, which will eventually become the default view, you can choose this pull down and you can choose to turn on that new experience. So this is what the new experience is going to look like for discussion grading, and it looks closer to what the assignment grading process is. So I'll go back to the beginning so you can see it from scratch. So we'll go to the discussion, we'll choose the drop down, we'll assess topic. Now that we have the new grading experience on, when we click topic score, it's going to go into what looks a little bit more like the assignment area grading. So you're not going to get that pop up. So here you're going to see a list of all of their posts. Same information though, your threads, your replies, your word count, when they posted, and this information. And then over here you type in the grade and give the feedback. And then you can choose to save that or publish it. So again, some basic information, same stuff, but just a different viewpoint. It is important, however, to note that there is a slight hiccup at the current moment regarding the new grading experience and files that have been attached as attachments. So let's look at this student who, if we remember correctly, has attached a document here. So when we're in the new grading experience, which again looks a little bit more like the assignment area, when you click on this, right now it's going to say page not found, and you're not going to be able to open that document. So again, if you are choosing for your students to use upload documents, you don't want to use the new grading experience at that point. You would want to revert back to the main, the default experience that we're used to. And then in that case, you've got the pop-up, you're able to click on it, and then it's going to open up in Word. However, this new experience, which looks more like the assignments area, will eventually become the default, and hopefully soon that issue will be fixed for people who do want to attach it as a document. It will be able to open up, but just kind of know that that is the current situation. So we're able to type in a grade, able to type in feedback, able to see all the posts at once. We can choose to save the draft if we like to. A lot of professors will choose to do that so that they're able to go through all the discussions and then do all of their grading and then push the feedback all at once. And that way you don't have students asking you, I received my grade, but my friend didn't, blah, 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 whatever, because you haven't gotten to it yet. So if you've saved them all as draft, what you'll see here is they've all been saved as draft. So when you're ready to publish it, you'll click here, publish feedback, and then it will push them all to the D2L gradebook at the same time, meaning students can all see them at the same time. So that is the new process for the discussion creation and grading. Mainly, it's just a matter of the wording on the access for when you're creating the discussion, and a little bit of a difference in terms of how the grading experience looks with the new grading experience, mainly looking a little bit more like the assignment area.